The following program was produced by an independent community producer. The opinions expressed do not necessarily reflect those of the ECAT staff or board of directors.
Hi, I'm your host, Miranda. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side. We are coming to you live from QA TV, Channel 8 in Quincy, Massachusetts. Our loved ones are gone but not forgotten, and just a thought away, and feel free to call. In the meantime, when I'm going to have some experiences to share with you, the things that were just validated a while back. I did a spirit drawing. And a couple of months ago, when I was on QA TV actually, and my friend called me up a couple of weeks ago and said to me, I need a favor from you. And I said, what's that? She goes, there's somebody who's having visits and everything like that, and they need your help. I said, okay, all I can do is the best I can as a medium. So they came, and the drawing that I did a while ago was of a little girl that came through on my paper. And when I met with the girl and her grandmother, she said to me, I have somebody visiting me. And I said to her, you know, is she trying to get a message to somebody? And she said, yes. So she said, but she's with other people over there. And I said to her, that's because, you know, our deceased children and things like that are on the other side are not alone, and they're totally not alone. And it was somebody very special to her. I can't say because she's a minor, but I started drawing the drawing for her on the paper, the one I did here, because what happens is with the art, her eyes look different. And what they do with me is they will show me how they looked, but then sometimes it could be a deformity that they had. So, but her eyes were how they looked before she passed away, because she was really little and stuff like that. So before her disease sunk in, her eyes looked that way, but then all of a sudden, when I was doing the reading for her, I was going over the drawing more with them there. And just so you guys know at home, I have no prior knowledge of who's coming in and things like that that go on the paper, and no acknowledgement. And when I was telling her you know, that's okay, she started, her grandmother was with her. So her grandmother started recognizing the drawing of the little girl that was on the paper. Of course, when the little girl died, she was only 6 years old, so she didn't really remember what. It was a family member, it was her sister, but that's all I can say. But she couldn't understand it. And she was upset a little bit, and I said, that's okay, but your grandmother's taking all the information that's coming in. When I started doing her more, the deformity just came in a little bit with her eyes, but she could understand her eyes before when I did them on the drawing and stuff like that. So that was really good, and the face and all of the features and everything like that. So as I was going on with the reading, she said, you know, she's never alone. I said, that's because the children are not alone on the other side. That made her feel so much better. She goes, but this happens a lot with, especially young kids, like, you know, in their teens or younger. You kind of feel like a freak. I know I did when this was all starting to go on with me. I said, you're not a freak. And she said, I tried to say something to so and so and so and so. I said, but that's okay. It's a generation thing with that too, where I know for myself, this all just started coming out when I was young, but, got more accepted, but still was, underneath the rug, if you want to say. So I said to her, I go, you know what? So-and-so is trying to get a message, because it was repetition with her and things like that. And she said, but she keeps coming back. I said, that's okay. She's just trying to communicate with you about where her family was brought up with their faith and their religion. They're not always open, but you know what? It's okay to be skeptic. It's skepticism. I welcome skeptics to the show, or I welcome them to call, because, it's how your family was brought up with being skeptic. So, and their religious faith, because I know every religion's different with their faith, and not everybody is open to mediumship. She said, I just don't know what to do. So I said to her, grandmother was listening in. And I said, just bring it up in conversation. But what's hard for me as a medium, and anybody that comes through, is when somebody's trying to get a message across and family is not open, it's a little harder, because the deceased person will keep coming back to deliver more, to give more information and everything. So that's why I brought in the skepticism and the religious part of it, because it's all in how you're brought up. But that's okay. I continued with her reading, and I said to her, there's nothing wrong with you. You have a gift, and stuff like that. And I just wanted to tell her that, because she said to me again, but she keeps coming back. I said to her grandmother, this is what you do. If you can't give the person the direct reading, just bring it up in a conversation. That way, there's a way to do it, because especially sensitive stuff, sometimes it could be very sensitive, especially when any death is, personal. But when it's a child, it's more personal. Just bring it up in conversation. That way the person will know, okay, that's good to know that so-and-so's around. A while ago, this happened with somebody else. The person was older, a co-worker that I worked with. The same thing was happening. All of a sudden, I was getting messages from her. I could feel her all around, because like you guys know, I'm a clairsentience medium, where I feel the presence of people around me. And I said to so-and-so, what do you want me to tell? I knew who to call, so I actually text messaged her like this and the thing. And I said, listen, I gotta tell you, so-and-so is trying to get through, and something's up with so-and-so that passed away on I can't say the person's name, that's why I'm saying so-and-so is trying to get a message. She said, oh my God, Karen, it's the person's anniversary. I said, oh boy. And I just gave her the message, because she could understand a lot of information with all of what was coming through, because it can be a lot of information at once. That when spirit gets working with me, you know how they are, and things like that. So I said, thank you so much for validating that. And this kind soul would come around every once in a while, but it seemed like she would come more near anniversaries and birthdays, celebrations, and remembering the happier times that she did with people in her family. And I said to so-and-so, to my friend, if you can ever get the message across to her family, that would be so wonderful, because that's why it's coming in like that. It's kind of like unfinished business, because I don't really have the answer for you guys with unfinished business, but sometimes I'm interpreting unfinished business with not being able to deliver the message from the deceased loved one. And that's when I have to say, go with your family members, and stuff like that, because, it's just hard, being the medium that way, but I have to put myself out of it and just say, okay, but if the opportunity ever comes about to deliver the message, do deliver the message. It's not always easy being medium either. And, I had a situation last year where someone texted me again with text messages, and I gave all the information to her, and you know how I draw and stuff like that. I actually drew everything on a map, and I had to go to the, you know, to deliver the information that I had. I can't say again, but delivered it, and I went to deliver the message. The person looked at all the information on the thing that I had to get. I gave. And she said, "This all makes sense." And I just said, "Here you go," and, you know, and stuff like that. And the person, you know, passed away, but the information was a little bit of a help, but everybody working together with our gifts, and that's what we're all about. We should all be working together. They said, "Thank you very much." And I told my friend, you know, I gave it to so-and-so, because people that she gave the information to weren't open to mediumship. And I said, "But that's okay. That's what they believe in." But the only thing, me being human as a medium, everything made sense, and the person probably could have been found sooner, but it's okay. That's very private, so that's why I can't say. But I just thank God that everything worked out, sad ending, but at least, you know, I said to my friend, that's okay if the person wasn't found right away, but you know what? They were found though, so, you know, that was the most important thing as far as I'm concerned. Just the skepticism is a good thing. You know, I accept, you know, like I said, skepticism is good, you know, and I had somebody come to me for a reading a long time ago when I worked at a place, and somebody told me, "You're having a skeptic come to you." And just to let you guys know at home, I don't mind skepticism, but if you understand everything, please let me know. It's yes, yes, yes. Or if it's no, 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 that's okay. I would rather have all no's than people saying yes, 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 because what happened with the yes, yes, yes thing, the person ended up not understanding the information, but that's okay. It's not about me. I am just the person in between the veils doing what I'm supposed to do with the gifts that God gave me, just to deliver the messages from the other side. And I said to the lady, "That's okay if he didn't understand, you know, I don't mind, but just the other part that was hard was saying yes, yes, yes." So if you guys do call, I would rather have all no's than a bunch of yeses, just to let you know that. And if you want to give me the information, just let me work, because I'm the vessel. I'm just the vessel in between the worlds. So when I'm delivering messages, it's a lot. I get it. It can be boatloads sometimes. And I said to myself, I go, all right, you know, and it's a lot of information. That's why I say if you can watch the show or watch, you know, a clip, you know, later on when it goes up, that's good, because what might not make sense at that particular time will make a boatload of sense later on, and it's like everything sinks in all at once. So I just wanted to share that part with you with the skepticism stuff. And you know, I said to myself, okay, what I said to myself is, you know, that's okay. Hi, Marie. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side.
Hi.
How are you tonight?
Good, yes?
Good. Are you ready for your reading?
Sure.
And if you understand, or if you don't, okay?
Okay.
And I'm gonna get going with you. I'm feeling a male around you tonight. I'm feeling a figure of a younger male, if this is making sense with you so far.
Yes.
That's on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
He passed away really young. Like, I'm getting teenage years.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Not the teenage, no.
Huh?
No.
Okay. Thank you. Because I'm feeling you have a couple of young people around you that are on the other side, and I'm going to let them come through more as I'm continuing with your reading, okay?
Okay.
And I'm just feeling there's an older male with them too. I'm feeling a father figure.
Yeah.
That's on the other side. Okay, thank you. I'm feeling your dad's presence all around you,
Yeah.
if this is making sense. And I'm like, I know they all have trouble with issues with breathing, you know what I'm saying? But I'm seeing somebody in a wheelchair.
Okay.
Huh?
Not familiar.
Okay, thank you for that. And they're saying I'm not in the wheelchair anymore,
Okay.
and he's doing really good. And I'm feeling average height with Dad
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You still miss him, because I feel like you called me before. I'm not sure, but you know, it's okay though, because you want to know more, and that's okay. You know what I'm saying? And Dad's just like, with the holidays that just passed, like Easter and everything, you really missed him.
Right.
And stuff like that. He's not sick in any more pain anymore, and I know that's general knowledge, but this is what they're giving me, okay? And he's, you know, he was an okay looker when he was younger, if you can understand that.
Right.
And I do see some resemblance with his grandfather, with his dad.
Yeah.
They looked a lot alike.
Yeah.
And it's so funny with them, because they're together over there.
Yeah.
On the other side, and it's they won't stop joking, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because they're so happy, and Dad is just so happy that he was there for you guys.
Right.
And that would make a lot of sense. And your granddad too, and things like that. And I'm trying to see what more they have. And the young person that's around you that passed away, that was quick. Can you understand that?
No, I don't, but
Okay,
that's okay.
but I'm going to ask the other person who died quickly to back off, because he might be for somebody else in the studio or at home. But the two dads are quite comical, but they were funny when they were here. But they were serious too,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. One was more serious. I'm feeling your granddad was more serious
Yeah.
out of the two of them. They're like sitting back and watching the ball game. Because I'm going like this with the height. I know you can see me at home. One's a little bit more taller than the other.
Right.
And your granddad's telling me he's not shaking anymore.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
I didn't know him. I wasn't alive.
Okay, but you can find out and ask somebody in the family. That would be terrific. But your dad is like saying, I'm just so glad, because my passing was quick.
Yeah.
And things like that. He took you people all off guard when he passed away. And stuff like that. But he said to me, it's wonderful, because I know I didn't do what I was supposed to do with my diet and stuff like that, but that would make a lot of sense too.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if I'm with your dad still, but I do have another male. I see somebody tinkering with cars.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's your dad?
Yeah.
Okay, because he's tinkering with cars, and he said the new ones today, he wouldn't like them. They don't make them good anymore, though, today either, like they did back then, and you would understand exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
He's saying to me, I'm glad I've learned to relax.
Ah. Okay.
And that would make sense to you.
Yep.
About the relaxing, and I'm so glad. I'm trying to say, well, what else can they give you? You got to give me more than that. There's a mother over there.
Yeah.
Your mom is over there?
Yeah.
Okay, because they're together too. You're having one big family reunion again tonight, by the way.
Right.
And I see somebody slicing the cake. Somebody just had a birthday.
Okay.
A birthday celebration. It could be over there, though. You're going to have to do some homework, okay?
Yeah.
Mom is with them, okay? I just wanted to let you know that, and she's letting the men speak tonight, and that would make sense to you.
Yeah.
Because this is really the first time that they have come through to you like this. Is that making sense too?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm feeling hot. I'm feeling hot with somebody over there with you that had heart issues.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Not yet.
Okay. But I also see that the heart gave out in the very end of their crossing. There could be somebody else over there. I'm
Yeah.
trying to get to, the young man is starting to come, the young person. I'm feeling there's somebody in their 20s that passed away for you.
Oh, okay.
Does that make sense?
Not that I can think
Okay,
of.
but that's okay, because I'm
Yeah.
going to continue with him after I get done with you. They're not being very informational with information with me, with
Yeah.
you. I just don't want to go making stuff up. But that's how they were. You know, they were private, and that would make sense to you,
Okay.
and stuff like that does, and I'm glad it does. But they, you know, they had a lot of fun when they were here, and things like
Okay.
that. And it
Yeah.
was fun. I'm feeling your dad, not all the time, but he liked to prank jokes on people.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's being quite the prankster over there too, by the way. That hasn't changed.
Right.
And he's saying about the chair and stuff like that, I'm not in the wheelchair anymore.
Oh, okay.
And that would make, and I'm glad that does make sense to you.
Yeah.
And he's happy about that because he was always independent and didn't like depending on people. But at
Right.
the end he had to, but you would understand that too, coming from Dad.
Yeah.
Very proud man
Right.
and proud family man, and I'm glad that's making sense to you. I'm gonna give this to you. I see some kind of a jewelry with your dad. It's not
Yeah.
coming in clear, but would that make sense?
Yes.
Jewelry, okay, because that's how they're interpreting to me, so I have to give that to you.
Yes.
They're happy that somebody, whoever has it, is taking very good care of it.
Yes.
He's not just being very clear with me about the jewelry that is coming in, but I also do see, again, a watch with your dad too as well.
Mhm.
So I'm glad that's making sense, and that's what I call a special clencher in the reading, so I'm thanking your dad for that. He says, you did more than what you could do for me. You did everything above and beyond the call of duty.
Yeah.
Because I'm feeling somebody, again, with the military too.
Yeah.
Yep, and very proud and very happy. And again, I know it's knowledge, I get this a lot, with the American, with the flag, that somebody has it folded up carefully. But I see it on a mantle.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's very proud of you, and you still want answers, he's telling me,
Huh.
if that makes sense.
He wants what?
No, you still like to hear from your family, Marie, that's on the other side,
Yes.
and you're still
Yeah.
looking for some answers. If that's
Yeah.
making sense, that's what I'm getting. So I
Yeah.
had to give that to you too.
Yeah.
And sometimes you just will never know the answer,
Right.
if that's making sense.
Yeah.
And he said, that's okay, that's just how things happened. He's just happy. His message, he has a message for you. You can find out about your granddad through somebody else in the family, okay? And the other young man, even though I'm sorry, but he didn't come through that clear for you, but I'm glad you could take the other young male that came in. He
Yeah.
just didn't come in. He's still very well missed. They still very well miss me. And that would make sense and stuff like that, but there was nothing nobody could do.
Right.
And I'm glad that's making sense. He's coming in a little bit now, but he's not alone over there.
Yeah.
Like I was saying at the beginning of the show, and I just needed to let you know that. I'm feeling again with the breathing, with somebody over there for you.
Yeah.
Breathing issues,
Yeah.
and this would make sense, and I'm glad. It's all better, it's all cleared up. I'm doing all my fun things now that I used to do when I was here. And he wasn't always at home because his job took him away from the family because he worked a lot of hours. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah.
And that's what I'm getting for you tonight.
Okay.
Okay? And
Okay.
also with Easter, he saw everybody looking down,
Yeah.
talking about him.
Right.
And the young male, you can let the family know that the young male is fine too.
Okay.
Okay? I don't know if
Thank
you have any questions for me or not, Marie.
Nope.
Okay. Thank
Okay.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye. It's sometimes it'll come in like that because sometimes when I get going with the reading, there is so much energy and so many people that are coming through at once. That's why you guys hear me say, back off, wait your turn. and you gotta, be patient. But I do have a younger male that isn't, and he was around the last couple of times with me. There was a young male, and I'm feeling like 14 or 15 with him, with his passing. Light brown hair, brown eyes, kind of like shorter, like just a little bit taller than me. I'm 4'10", so I'm going up with the 5 height with him. And if anybody can understand who this is, feel free to call me. But he's just trying to get a message across to everybody in the family. But I want to thank Marie for sharing her dad and her grandfather. I know it's hard sometimes too when you don't know the person that's coming through, and then you got to go ask, and again it goes back to, you can bring it up in conversation. I was thinking of so-and-so the other day. They came into my thoughts, and I want to know this. That's how you can do that too as well, just to let you know that, just so that way, because I know people, like I said, they're not all open to this, but that's okay. And I did want to share another experience I had with delivering messages from the other side. Someone I knew loved hearing from her family, and she said, "Who's around me? Who's around me?" And I said, "Oh, okay, but I've read her so many times. That's when it's hard to get information, but it just comes natural for me. So what I get is what I get, and what I give is what I give, and I just let it flow that way." And we started. It was kind of cool because I went to her house for a visit one time, and we were all sitting around the table. It was a nice spring day and stuff like that. All of a sudden, this face just appeared in front of a sister and manifested right there and then. She totally startled me and took me totally off guard. And I said to her, "This is who's around you. This is coming in. Can you understand the information?" She could understand the information. She said, "Oh my goodness, that's the way they showed themselves to so-and-so, another person in the family." I can't say who, but I thanked her for validating that information for me. And to me, it is about validation, and that way people will understand. I talked about this before, but I have to talk about dreams still too, because when people come in your dreams, it's repetition, and again, it's trying to get a message to somebody that is coming in from the higher side of spirit that has crossed over to the other side. It's just different with how they present themselves to you, and sometimes it'll be visits and sometimes dreams. It's just hard when you're of this generation with the older school generation, where the 70s and 60s people were not always open to this. That's why my late aunt, before she passed away, I used to go to her for information, because my late mother wasn't open to this and stuff like that, and she just said, "I don't want to talk about it," and that's okay, because that was her beliefs of how she was brought up at the time. But I said to my aunt, "Did so-and-so do this?" And she said, "Yes." "And did somebody pass away really little?" And she said, "Yes, they did." And she validated all of it for me, so it was wonderful that I could go to somebody. God rest her soul. She was a beautiful soul in person when she was here, and she still is very much missed. And that's okay if you miss them. That's totally normal, you know, and stuff like that. I want to talk about, suicide just a little bit, because sometimes suicide is hard, because you got to remember the people when you're having suicidal thoughts. I can't say because it's in my new book that's coming out, but if you're having suicidal thoughts, there is help you can get out there. It's just because with that, I know it's not easy to want to have the help, but you got to want it. But what is good about that is, there is help out there. But just remember the people that are left behind, because your families love you very much, and stuff like that. And they're the ones that feel the burden when you do that and stuff like that. Just to let you know, I did have to fill you guys in a little bit. There was somebody my sister passed away and stuff like that. And my dad, when she passed away, it was a long time ago. Actually, it was in 2003. And the hardest thing my dad had to do was go bring her home, from overseas. And she would come in from time to time, this is what I'm trying to get at, to visit me and to say, let me know somebody was gonna pass away. And I said, okay, and I paid attention to what she was saying, and that's another way sometimes that you deceased loved ones, they do see what's going on, and they know what's up when things are going to happen in the family. So I just wanted to let you know that, and she would always let me know. And son of a gun, she would be right. And I would say, okay, to my daughter Michelle, so-and-so is gonna pass away. And sure enough, the phone would ring a couple of days later that somebody did pass away. And one night I can remember a while ago, sometime when I was in a deep sleep, all of a sudden I felt my bed shake really hard. And it's different every time of how spirit's gonna connect with me, and the bed shook. And I'm like, oh my God. And I got woken up, and then I smelled hot dogs after. I said, this is too strange for me. But somebody didn't pass away, but they were letting me know that someone was in trouble. That can happen too, very rarely, but they knew, because I was a medium, that they could wake me up. And that's just another way they will let me know, okay, somebody's in trouble, okay. I paid attention to that, just I said some prayers and everything, and I got the phone call, but ended up being okay, so that was really good. It was wonderful, that they let me know that so-and-so was sick. And what's really good is sometimes, when you're being the medium and trying to deliver the messages, it just gets hard sometimes because you just don't know, like with me, even I sometimes get like, okay, so how do I deliver the message if somebody's not open? I just had to figure that out on my own and everything like that, so that's why it came in like this, and it comes in sometimes when I'm trying to deliver the message. But when you guys call, it's okay to give me information, but let Spirit work first through me. I'm getting about being a vessel between the worlds. Let me give all the information first, and then after your reading is done, if you want to share the information with me, that's okay. I don't mind. And just the validation and everything like that is wonderful. I had an experience one time, transfiguration. This is the thing that I was like, all right, with people that transform through people that are alive. And sometimes people will come up to me and start talking to me, and I'm like, hi, so-and-so, but you're not I say to myself, they're not the person that I was seeing. When I first started talking to them, they totally transformed, and that just happened a while ago with the reading I was doing for the girl, and the person transformed to her grandmother, and I'll share that with her, but I can't share that right now. But they did the transfiguration thing with me, and I'm like, okay. And that's the one thing I said to myself, that is something else with that, because it's just the way they present themselves. One time I can remember, like, this was a good long time ago, and I was in a church doing platform mediumship. It's called platform mediumship when a medium goes up before the congregation in a spiritual church, and they deliver messages to people in the congregation and things like that. And as the night was going on, I was delivering messages to people, being the message bearer, because this is what I want to share with you guys at home. And what was wonderful was, all of a sudden I was doing this reading for somebody in the congregation, and all of a sudden her hair changed. And I'm like, excuse me, ma'am, I didn't want to say anything, but your mother's telling me to tell you her hair was nicer than yours and a lot neater to fix your hair. And she started roaring laughing. She said, but my mother was right about what I just said, because she said, that makes so much stuff. She started roaring laughing. The whole church roared in laughter. And laughter is a good thing, by the way, too, because laughter is like you're sharing the fun memories that you had with your loved one, too. And the fond memories that you had with, you know, your loved ones that are on the other side, because, you know, it's just wonderful that you share the memories, and it's part of like honoring them too. And it was funny with that, and I went over to the lady afterwards and thank you very much for sharing that with me, because I said to her, I just didn't know how to present it with you, because I know when you get to be my age, you lose things, your hair gets, and stuff like that, your eyes droop and all that stuff. And I said to her, I just didn't know how you would take that, but I can't hold information back. I can't hold anything that I get from people that are coming through from the other side. And she thanked me. It's not about me. I'm just a messenger between the living and people that are passed away on the other side. And it's really nice, because it's, you know, it's my gift. I had to learn to embrace it, because I walked away from it so many times. And one time I said to myself in 2016, I'm done. I'm throwing in the towel. I'm not going to do this anymore. And I did walk away from it for a good while, until my daughter's friend, her mom, came to visit, and all of a sudden things started coming in with her reading that I can't say, but she understood everything. And I tried to fluff it off, like I just said to you a minute ago, of who was coming in and everything like that. And it wasn't easy. And one time I can remember, I know I shared this before, but this is one of my favorite stories. I was watching somebody on TV. I'm throwing in the towel with all this stuff, and my daughter picked around the corner. Who does he remind you of, Ma? And I said, all right. And just, you know, I said, I know I'm not supposed to quit it, because I was born with the gift. And just to let you know that too. When somebody young comes to you and says, you know, I see so-and-so, even just listen, you know, and stuff like that, to see what they have to say about the person that's on the other side, because you never know, you know, especially a young child or a young adult that comes through like that. It's just, you know, to say, okay, I'm listening, you know, and stuff like that. And what makes it hard is when it's repetition, like the story I was sharing with you guys earlier. When it's repetition like that, it is really hard, because the person that was telling me it was hard, I said, I know it's hard because they're trying to get a message across, but that's okay. You're paying attention and just listen, and sometimes you just got to let the message go. You know, you just got to let it go. Ask them to go with their relatives, like the spirit child was with their relatives, and to see who they're with, which is really nice to know that you're not alone and things like that. And it's just hard sometimes, because when you're trying to deliver the message and people are not open and stuff like that, you know, but that's their beliefs and all that stuff. I'm going to get going with the sketch right now and things like that, just to get going with the drawing. that's just some things I like to share with you guys at home, because people are always asking, oh, and the thing I do want to talk about too as well is, I was talking to somebody last week. Can you tell them I love them and miss them? You guys at home, this just happened last week, and I said to the person I was talking to, but you can let them know too. But sometimes they said, I get blocked from it. But that's okay, because sometimes we want to really try so hard to hear from somebody that we love and miss and stuff like that that's on the other side. You can let them know too, and they are listening in. Just to let you know that, because she was so relieved and happy about that when I told her that, because sometimes you try so hard you want to hear from that so-and-so, they don't come through. And I want to share this too with that. Sometimes I feel the deceased loved ones wait till the right person to go to deliver the message from them, and that could be anybody. And I knew somebody a while back, it was actually last summer, that came for a reading. And the person was coming through, drawing them and everything like that. And the person said to my friend, can I come for a visit? She said, I know why he's coming for a visit, Karen. He wants to, but then it gives you a chance to visit with them too. And I was glad about that. They came, and my friend said to me, I can't figure out 20 some odd years or however long the person was gone for. I just looked at her and said, there's no time frame on the other side with our deceased loved one that had passed away. But he never went to anybody before. And I said to her, that's okay. That's just how they wanted to, likes like likes over there. And she just waited for the right person for him to go to. But there are a lot of good mediums out there, but sometimes they just wait until they're ready to come through like that. And she was so happy, and the person that came for the visit was very happy, but they couldn't believe that, like, after 20 years, that the person finally came through. And I said, that's just how they are over on the other side, because there's no time frame over there. I believe we do learn and grow, and our energies get strong on the other side and in heaven, which is totally wonderful, and that's why, it comes in like that. But I did want to fill you guys in on, you can tell them yourselves and things like that. Just to let you know that. And I want to share a little bit about, if you feel like you have the gifts, chances are you do, and you want to learn more. It does take several years, well, for me anyways, it took several years of serious study, and I was very fortunate at the time that I had a couple of very good teachers that I went to. There are spiritual churches out there that have helped me learn and control my gifts, because you're constantly growing with the gifts, and I never know how Spirit's gonna present themselves with me. So it was just nice to know that I had to, learn to control it. Because when I first started to develop as a medium, I used to sing actually at a church in Quincy, and I would go to choir practice, and all of a sudden when we were doing the rehearsal, after the rehearsal, because music vibrates up to the heavens with music, the louder the music gets, it goes right up there. And it's like musical lyrics, and it is musical lyrics to the heavens. The person said to me, Karen, that's all well and good, but the person that is coming through, they passed away. And I said, oh, but I just had to deliver the message from them. And I was beginning to think sometimes that I wasn't normal too, and things like that with my gifts. Because somebody used to call me a freak of nature, but it was a good intent. And I said, all right. So when that was going on, giving people messages at the choir I belonged to at the time, they were all getting them. So I said, I got to call somebody. I need, get some help to control whatever this is that's going on with me. So there was a person coming through, from the choir. Hi, Annie. Welcome to Whispers from the Other Side.
Hello.
How are you tonight?
Good. How are you? Welcome back.
Good. I'm doing good. Have you ever been to a medium before, Annie?
Well, I've been to a psychic.
Okay. Yes, if you understand, no, if you don't, okay?
Sure.
And I'm a clairvoyant, clairsentient medium, which I can see the deceased loved ones in my head and out of my head, and I see things that they owned, and they'll share their memories with me. That's the clairsentience part of it, okay? Just to let you know that. Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. And yes, if you understand, no, if you don't. I'm going to get going with you, because I do have a grandmother vibration that's around you. Is your grandmother over on the other side, Annie?
I never knew my grandmothers.
Huh?
I never knew them.
Okay. Then I'm going to see who else is around you, but they're fine and everything like that. I do have a male figure that's around you. And I'm feeling this eternal love with the male. I'm feeling, I don't know if you have a husband over there or a dad that's over there. I'm feeling like someone like that's around you that's coming through with me.
Yeah, my dad, maybe.
Your dad? Okay. Don't give me any information. Your dad is all around you, and I just wanted to let you know that, because you were wondering if he was okay on the other side.
Sure.
Okay? He is, this is how he's coming in with me. He's not really describing himself with me, but he's coming in with information. You missed that eternal affection with the hugs and everything from him, and I know that's going to make sense.
Yes.
And your dad is also telling me he's around you and things like that. And there is a young male that's with him over there.
My brother?
Your brother. Okay, so don't give me any information.
Oh, okay.
But they're together, your brother and your dad. Your brother's not alone either, just to let you know that.
Awesome.
Yeah, and your brother's being quite comical because his personality, he was good-natured when he was here.
Yeah.
And very but he was laid back.
Yes, both of them were.
Oh yeah, and he didn't care. That would make sense with you.
Yes.
And I'm glad it does. He is saying, I'm the same way now. But she still misses having me around because you used to go to him a lot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you guys were very close.
Yes.
And his passing was quick?
A couple of years.
No, when somebody was over there who had a quick passing for you.
My dad was about a year.
Huh?
My dad was a year.
Okay, thank you. But your brother's saying you were hoping to hear from me tonight.
Yes.
And he's saying, I'm there, I'm still the party animal.
Huh.
Do you know what he's talking about? But he was also intelligent, I'm feeling. There was some intelligence with your brother?
Yes, both of them
very,
were.
very intelligent, actually.
Yes.
And he's saying to me to tell you, I helped people when I was here, but that's what he was about, if that's making sense. Because he's sharing his memories right now with you.
Yeah, he's very helpful to everyone.
Okay, yeah, because I'm just saying that, and I'm sitting there going, I'm going to give the name to you. And I know it's a common name, okay? And I'm getting a John J's with him. I'm getting
His
somebody
name's
with
John.
J, huh?
His name's John.
Oh, thank you. That's the special piece of evidence. He's
Yes.
all around you in a very big way. Yeah, and I'm seeing some tattoos with somebody over there too.
Ooh, I don't think so.
Yeah, no, I have to give that anyways. But your brother's all around you. He's saying celebrate my life, not my death.
Yes.
Yeah, because you still, and I know it's going back to this again because this is what they'll do to me, but you needed to hear. She still loves that eternal affection, like just a hug, you know what I'm saying? That embrace hug and, you know, the listening in.
Yeah.
And going out like you guys would go out for a bite. You know what I'm on. That would make sense to you?
Yeah.
He said, I'm with you. And you were feeling somebody around you lately? Is this making sense?
Yes.
That's him. You're seeing the signs, you're seeing the things, and he also said I came in some dreams.
Yeah, not really.
Okay, because I'm seeing somebody that came to you in a dream, though. But that I'm going to let that go and ask the person to back off. But your brother is coming in like this because this is how he was. Like within his own group, he was, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But in public, he, you know, kind of like kept to himself too.
Yeah, he was quiet.
Yeah, and I'm so glad you can understand that coming from your brother. And thank you for the name, because even a name could be a special piece of evidence. In a reading, he's saying, I'm helping other people over here like I did when he was here.
Oh, I'm sure he is.
That makes sense, huh?
Yes.
And I'm glad. And there's somebody else, and I'm going to give this to you anyways, and even if it doesn't make sense, because I don't hold back what Spirit gives to me, but there's a younger male that still misses your brother.
Oh, probably my other brother.
Huh?
Probably his little brother.
Okay, because I had to give that to you and stuff like that, just to let you know that. He is listening in. He's saying, I learned, and he was beyond the years when he was here.
Yeah.
Yes, and I'm glad you understand that. That's just his way of giving me information well beyond the years and things like that. And he wants you just to be happy and go travel.
Oh, yeah.
That makes sense, huh?
Yes.
And he loved traveling, but at least now I don't have to pay for my airline ticket, he's saying.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, that would make sense, and I'm glad it does. And he's all around you. He's just not, I was the average guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's a good guy.
Yes, and that would make a lot of sense to you because this is why it's coming in with me, his personality, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay. And just to let you know, and that's what I'm getting for you. I knew he said she wanted to hear from me, and I'm all around her, and to say, he used to say, I'm getting chow, like for the goodbye. Does that make sense?
What was that?
Okay, so I'm getting that from you, and I'm thanking him for that because he's telling me to tell you ciao and stuff like that, so I'm very happy about that. I'm thanking him for that too. And when you're out, though, you know, he's with you, and he's back outdoors doing all the fun-loving things he used to do when he had his downtime, which wasn't all the time, but you would understand that too.
Yeah.
Okay, and I don't know if you have any questions for me, but that's what I'm getting for him, and your dad's with him. I just don't like to go making up stuff, Annie.
Yeah, is my mom with them too?
Your mom is over there?
Yes.
Okay, your mom is fine. She's doing really good, and she's, you know, with the family over there, with them.
Nice.
And she's not alone.
Good.
And she's happy though, because she's happy she doesn't have to have the care anymore, and that would make sense with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she's saying thank you for, I know I get this a lot, but I have to give it because it's your family. Thank you for letting me die with dignity.
Yes.
And I'm so happy that you took care of her.
Yes.
And that would make sense. Your mom is saying I can breathe a lot easier. Because I'm feeling somebody did have lung issues that's over there for you.
Yeah, she had lung cancer.
Thank you. Don't give me any information.
Oh, sorry.
And I just have to give that from your mom. And she's saying to me to tell you when she wears her necklace. I'm seeing a locket. Or something like a locket that had it's on a chain. And I don't know if that's making sense to you at all or not.
Celtic Cross.
Okay, but that's okay. But she's saying to me to let you know, when you're looking through the album, I'm thinking of you. You're thinking of me, and you were talking to the photos the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And she wanted to let me know, and I thank her for that special piece of validation. She's with you always.
Oh, yeah.
All right?
All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. You have a good night. Thank you.
You too.
Bye, sweetie.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And during the show tonight, I was sharing all kinds of different stuff with you guys because it was like, okay, and stuff like that. Because sometimes people do ask the same questions again. I want to send lots of love and light to everybody, and thank the 2 phone calls for calling. And my crew, thank you for coming and for your help and stuff like that. Karen always gets a little messed up during her show, but she always finds her way back. And I just like to share the knowledge I get as I go along on my spiritual journey. And just to say, suicide's not the answer. It's not. And our loved ones are gone, but not forgotten. And just a thought away. And just to let you know that. And thank you for sharing your loved ones with me. And I was glad I could share some of my experiences. When you hug somebody, just remember, it could be the last hug. Appreciate each other, really, because you never know. Life is just really, really too short, and you just never know what's going to happen. So really appreciate each other while you're still here, so I don't have to be the messenger to, say, but I love my gifts, and you have gifts too in your ways and things like that. And thank you.